On December 5, 1945, a Wednesday, five torpedo bomber aircraft took off into the sky at 2:10 p.m. from the Naval Air Station in Florida, USA. The mission was called Flight 19. It was a routine naval training mission, in other words, a standard training exercise. The planes were TBM Avengers, and each aircraft had 2 to 3 crew members. A total of 14 experienced Navy crew took part in this mission. They were led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor. Their mission plan was to fly 141 miles east from Florida, then 73 miles north, and then return westward back to Florida. It was a 3-hour routine training mission. The weather was also clear, but about 2 hours after takeoff, the squadron leader reported that they were having problems with their compass. Lieutenant Taylor said, "The compass is not working. I can't figure out where we are." They were unable to determine their location. When the other pilots were asked, they reported facing the same issue. Gradually, they started losing communication with each other. The weather started getting worse. At 4:56 p.m., Taylor believed that they were flying over the Gulf of Mexico. So he instructed the other planes to fly east in order to return to Florida. But in reality, they were actually flying over the Atlantic Ocean. Because of this wrong assumption, Taylor kept leading the flight in the wrong direction again and again. One by one, the radio signals began to fade, and eventually they lost communication with each other as well as with the base station. Evening sets in, the fuel begins to run out. The pilots of Flight 19 decide that they will have to make an emergency landing in the sea. At 7:04 p.m., Taylor's final radio message is received. "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. Everything is." It was the message. After that, all 5 planes disappear forever. To this day, no trace of them has ever been found. At exactly 7:27 p.m., a Martin Mariner rescue plane was dispatched from Florida. But unbelievably, the plane was also disappeared. It had 13 crew members on board. First 14 members of Flight 19 went missing, and then 13 more from the rescue aircraft. After that, more than 30 aircraft and over 20 ships searched day and night for 5 days. But no planes, bodies, or wreckage were ever found. Surprisingly, the area where these 2 planes disappeared is now known as the Bermuda Triangle. In the past 80 years, nearly 3,000 ships and 100 aircraft have vanished in this region. The area is also called the Devil's Triangle, a mysterious and frightening zone. The Bermuda Triangle is a triangular region in the middle of the ocean formed by the connecting 3 major points: Miami, Florida, USA, and Bermuda Island, a British territory, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. These 3 points form an imaginary triangle that spans across approximately 500,000 square miles over the ocean. This is how the mystery began. Over time, this region earned several names: the Graveyard of the Atlantic, Sea of Doom, and Sargasso Graveyard. The term Bermuda Triangle was first used in 1964 by Lieutenant Vincent H. Gaddis in an article titled "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle," published in Argosy magazine. The article described numerous disappearances incidents that had occurred in the Bermuda Triangle over the first few decades. Although it did not prove any specific reason or specific explanation, it played a key role in popularizing the mystery. After that, many books, films, games, and songs were created based on the Bermuda Triangle. Another terrifying incident took place in 1918 when the USS Cyclops, the largest coal-carrying ships of the US Navy, set out on an important mission, especially during the time when America joined World War I. These ships was used to transport troops and coal. On March 4, 1918, there were 306 people on board the USS Cyclops. The ship departed from Baltimore, a city near Washington, heading towards Brazil in the West Indies. It was carrying 11,000 tons of manganese, and the journey was expected to take 9 days. Everything was going smoothly. The weather was also good, but then suddenly and without any signals, the ship vanished along with all 306 passengers. This shocked everyone. How could such a massive ship suddenly disappear? But even more frightening and mysterious is the story of the Allen Austin. The year was 1881. A 210-foot long ship named Allen Austin was sailing from London to New York, as many ships did in those days. But along the way, in the Bermuda Triangle region, it encountered an unknown abandoned ship. From the outside, the ship looked completely normal, but there was no one on board. No crew, no passengers, not a single person. The captain of the Allen Austin waited for 2 days, observing from nearby to see if there was any response. But after receiving no reaction for 2 full days, he decided to board the ship himself. Inside, everything was in its proper place. In those days, people were always cautious because of the fear of pirates, but there were no signs of robbery on this mysterious ship. So the captain of the Allen Austin decided to send a few crew members from his ship and continue the journey with both vessels. For the first 2 days, everything seemed normal, but suddenly a storm arose. The two ships got separated, and once again the mysterious ship disappeared. After the storm passed, the captain of the Allen Austin spotted the ship in the distance once again. But once more, there was no one on board. The crew members he had sent were also missing. Where did they go? What happened to them? No one knows. But the ship was still completely intact. The captain tried once again to bring the mysterious ship along with him. He sent a new group of crew members on board, but a few days later, another storm hit, and the same incident repeated itself. The ship disappeared again, and the new crew members were never found. Eventually, when the captain returned, the owner of the Allen Austin was so terrified by the story that he decided to sell the ship to a German company, and they renamed it Meta. Yes, just like how Facebook changed its name to Meta, this ship was also renamed Meta. But unfortunately, this is most likely just a story. Since the event is very old, it's impossible to verify its authenticity. There are many such incidents that became popular in the history, but their truth could never be proven. Stories like these are called urban legends. Many rational researchers believe that the Bermuda Triangle is just another such legend. However, there are many theories behind the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Some believe that aliens are responsible for abducting the ship and planes. Others say that a giant sea monster hides deep in the ocean and is behind these incidents. Some even claim that the water in this region has strange properties, causing ships and aircraft to sink. Most of these theories are quite far-fetched, so now let's take a look at some realistic, science-based explanation. The first explanation is magnetic distortion. Many pilots and captains have reported that my compass was spinning, it was not pointing north. In reality, the Earth has two types of north, magnetic north and true north. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where magnetic north and true north align or come very close to each other. As a result, compass can become confused. Ships and planes may go off course and eventually disappear. The second explanation is the geographical structure of the region. Beneath the Bermuda Triangle lies a large area of shallow waters. Satellite maps show light turquoise colored water around the Bahamas and Caribbean islands. indicating that the area is not very deep. Because of this, in ancient times, many ships would get stuck in these shallow waters. Such areas are called hidden swells, where the seabed is raised but can't be easily detected from the surface. The third explanation is natural disasters. The Bermuda Triangle lies in the middle of a dangerous ocean current known as the warm Gulf Stream. This region generates a large number of hurricanes. Suddenly, rough waves can form, massive isolated waves that can rise up to 100 feet high. These waves are also so powerful that they can capsize ships in seconds. Back in the early 1900 to 1950, there were no advanced radars or early warning systems, so ships and planes could easily get caught in these storms without any warning. The fourth explanation is methane gas. Scientists have discovered deposits of a substance called methane hydrate beneath the ocean floor. If this gas suddenly explodes, it creates massive bubbles that rapidly reduce the water's density. As a result, a ship can no longer stay afloat and it sinks instantly. This is why some ships may sink without sending any distress signals. Believe it or not, most of the accidents were caused by human error. Inexperienced pilots, navigational mistakes by sailors, overloaded ships, or setting out without checking the weather all played a role. In this case of Flight 19, the pilot mistakenly flew in the wrong direction, and eventually all planes ran out of fuel and then disappeared. Due to the growing curiosity about the Bermuda Triangle, the incidents that happened there received much more attention, but similar incidents in other places didn't go as much focus. Author Larry Kusse, who wrote the book The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved, also pointed this out. Today, with modern technology, satellites, and radar systems, the Bermuda Triangle is no longer as terrifying as it once was. And yet, just hearing the name still sends a cold chill through the heart. Maybe we haven't understood everything. Maybe the ocean still holds some secrets deep within its vast blue depths. The Bermuda Triangle may not be supernatural, but it is the name of a story where science and fear, logic and legend walk side by side. So guys, see you in the next video.